Good evening, everybody. It is just me. We're recapping EU Masters Day 3, looking ahead at Day 4. No Johnny Danger. So, if you have any questions, keep me some company here in the chat if you're watching it live. Otherwise, hey, we do appreciate the comments in the YouTube channel, Twitch, or anywhere else. So, let's just hop right into it. First and foremost, it's been a very long time since I've done one of these by myself. So forgive me for any pacing issues that I have, any rambling that I go about. But this is a much better slate, in my opinion, at least from my reads on these games. I know a lot of people did very well in our circles. I was not one of them. I didn't do bad. I turned a profit and was very close to turning a nice profit if I just flip-flopped a couple lineups. But overall, I just wasn't very confident in a lot of the picks. I thought there were a lot of potential upsets, and there absolutely were. I think I ended up predicting 4 of the games, but just the way that the builds went, I wasn't super satisfied with how that turned out. So, today we've got a couple different groups. We've got some surprises in some of these games. I mean, let's just recap some of the ones from today and kind of go through that. Let me pull this up. I apologize. Probably should have had that going. But let's see. So today we had the third day of these 6-game slates, and it started off with MKS versus ANO, also known as Famagusta. Now, this was a game that, as it was going down, I kind of kicked myself. I fell into the same trap that I think a lot of people did. When we looked at the ownership, ANO was by far the most owned team on the slate. I didn't really think anybody was going to get above 20%, and they were the only group that did, partially because of a very strong showing the week or the day before when they beat Kick. My biggest concern with this team, not just coming from a lower region, was that they weren't even necessarily dominant in that lower region. They were a team that snuck into the playoffs, won a tiebreaker, and then had a couple good series to get themselves into this tournament. On the other side of things, Kick was very similar. They had a very bad split, was 50-50, 7-7. Had a couple good playoff games or playoff series, and maybe that's where they're better. But I think we just overvalued them. They came in, they did not look like the same team. After just completely dominating Kick, they kind of got dominated, and that was kind of indicative of what what I felt like the slate could be. And we're going to take a look at some of these games and try and analyze a little bit more what these teams did earlier in the season. Obviously, different patches, different situations, but those are still things that we need to consider. We only have so much information. It's either go off of that or go off of these 2-game samples, neither of which are perfect. And, we just have to find a way to combine both of those 2 things. In the second game of the day, we had Kick, that same team, playing big. This was a game where I felt like Kick was a really good GPP play. We built a couple lineups with Kick. They were priced down, and this is a team that has some carries that have a pedigree of success in EU Masters and score very well, but they were just kind of outclassed. This was a good game from a fantasy perspective. It was a little bit back and forth. The teams were fighting. I was hoping for a couple more fights. Most of my high dollar lineups were built around big. Unfortunately, some of them in like the 180 specifically had ANO in it. So it was what it was. Big showed why they are one of the favorites in this tournament. Just completely, dominating Kick, and I think that's going to continue. So really big downgrade to Kick, but I did warn about this yesterday, that I thought that this could be a day where we saw the Ultra League lose every single one of their games, that they're not necessarily as strong as we thought they were. And when you get into this mixed competition, that's going to be more evident. Again, some of these, conceptions about the Ultra Liga being strong came and stemmed from last year, partially because of Kick's success, partially because of Rogue's success in spring, and then certainly in summer where they won. But a lot of that talent went elsewhere, and it was massively depleted. And we saw it again. The next game, Rogue versus Misfits. Misfits just took over this game. They've been dominant early. Rogue put up a fight, no doubt about it, but It was to be expected. Misfits just early and often, and they look like they're going to be a force. It was kind of a slip up the day prior when they lost, and we'll see them in the knockout stage. I'm pretty confident of that. They're going to get out of their group because the next game we're going to talk about, this is a team that's not getting out of the group. Played a lot of them. G2. G2's just looked bad, and we talked about it yesterday, and I was hoping that they would kind of snap out of it playing a lower region team and S up. I thought this was a spot that we could get some leverage on the field by playing G2. I figured that they would probably be about 5% owned or so, given that they were priced up on top of having these bad performances. And I was absolutely right in that regard. They were 5% owned. And what show would it, I forgot to crack this open. Usually I'm not doing the intro and all of the talking, but I've got a Pinkies Up from Aslan. This is a quintuple IPA, so it's 18%. I've had it for a couple months. It's aging a little bit. I haven't had much to drink. I don't want to drink too much tonight, but I want to kind of get there. So this is going to help me do that. But G2 just completely dominated. S up, the Serbian team has just been dominating. Not really, but they've played really well. They've surprised a lot of teams. This was probably someone that we would have assumed through the first 3 games probably would have gone 0-3, maybe would have pulled out a win, but here they are 2-1 along with Misfits and Rogue. And this is a really interesting group. This was by far, it looks like, the strongest of the groups, and we get to see this on Tuesday as they all play each other and kind of sort this one out. Next game, Maus playing Illuminar. Now, Illuminar did not I didn't have high hopes for them. Again, both of their Ultra Liga companions lost, playing a team that has, arguably one of the best players in the tournament in Leader. And, they came out and they played really well. This was a better executed game plan. They didn't let Maus or Maus didn't impose their will in the same way that we had thought that they probably could, given the early game prowess that they have and how willing Illuminar is to let their opponents get that lead so that they can scale. So Maus has been one of the big disappointments for me. They're 1-1, but really they should have lost that first game against Mako. It's something that we have to consider going in. This is, a number 1 seed. Actually, they're not a number 1 seed. They're the number 2 seed. They did win their split, but they lost in the finals to Big. Nevertheless, their season series with Big, I think they were only down 1 game. I mean, it was they were 3 and they split it. They're 4-4. Just couldn't win when it counted. So we'll have to take that into account. And the last one was UCAM just rolling over Mako. Mako looked like the team that we thought they would be coming out of the PG Nationals region in Italy. Just surprised a lot of people when they were playing against Maus. And I thought maybe that would carry over today. I had a little bit of exposure to them, but UCAM really came together and dominated that. It looks like Johnny Danger has joined us.
Hola, my friend.
Oh, well let me move this. I had all my screens set up.
Come on, man. I couldn't pass up a chance to talk about my dude VZZ.
Yeah, hey, well, I just came past that, but yeah, hey, look, Danger profited quite a bit, had a good couple lineups, all centered around that S-up lineup, which has been pretty exciting. I mean, look at that. We saw his balance yesterday, guys. We saw his balance yesterday. It was 50 cents, and we cleaned it out. We put it in, and look at him now. Look at him now.
Look at that, 238.2. Woo! Woo!
Man, that was a good lineup there. We talked about it. It wasn't, it wasn't the nuts, obviously, but it was pretty damn close.
It was pretty close, buddy. It was pretty close. Yeah, that won $4 in the quarter jukebox and $24 off the $3 entry into this bad boy.
Nice.
If you can teach Johnny Danger to do this, you can teach anybody. So watch these videos, my friends.
Yeah, and I mean, this isn't even peak Johnny Danger. We've seen him do some really, really interesting things in these tournaments. So, I'm hoping that maybe tomorrow it's even a little bit better now that his bankroll has grown a little bit, right?
I like it. Let's get into it. Let's do it.
That's strong there. It's an 18.4. I don't know how long you were there.
I was creeping for a while. It was fine.
Yeah, look, hey, I saw all of a sudden my screen changed, and I was like, I didn't share my screen yet. Like I hadn't got to that point.
Hadn't got there.
So, all right, well, hey, let's talk about what's going into the next slate. Let's talk about this. We've got our last six gamer. It's a little bit smaller in terms of contestants. Just Saturday slates for DraftKings tend to be on the lower side, and I've never really understood it, but they know better than me. One of the things that I want to keep in mind when we are looking at these games is it's really easy to look at these games, disregard prior results, and just take that eye test that we've had from the last two games, despite that being such a small sample size. And we know that small sample sizes are, not the most dependable, not the most reliable. I'm just checking over here, making sure that nobody's asking for the link and I send it to them at the end like yesterday. But anyway, this first game we've got Carmine Corp going against SO4. This is a game that we have one of the favorites in the entire tournament. We have SO4, who we have talked about as a team that certainly has the ability to, I don't even think this is in the right order at this point, but it's fine. We'll talk about it anyway. I don't think it's the first game. I think it's the second, but SO4 is a team that can beat anybody.
It says it's the first one.
Difference. It's not. It's not. I know this, and I know that this hasn't been updated yet. If you look actually on your fandom screen, you'll see that the BTXL BTS game is going to be played before it, which is fine. It really doesn't matter when the game's played. So when we're looking at these two teams, I want to say KC is probably the team, one of the two safest teams to go with. They're a favorite. I like them. I like Big. It's the two of the tournament favorites against teams that are from, lesser pedigrees, worse records. All the stats point to these other teams. You look at somebody like Carmine, they're plus 1,300 at 15 minutes. And then you look at somebody like SO4, who is, about the same thing, but with a 9-9 record, far worse mid to late game rating. The other thing that we have now is we do have some mixed stats from these two games. And when we're looking at these two teams in terms of, combined kills per minute, SO4 is one of the worst, and Carmine is kind of middle of the pack. So that's something that we do want to consider when we're kind of looking at these teams. I think SO4 makes a very interesting GPP play. I don't believe that they're going to win this game, and this is not one of the dogs that I want to back. Certainly.
You can't bet against Adam. Come on now. No,
you can't. We didn't get to see Adam play today. I felt lost, and maybe that's what it was, because I couldn't put Adam in any of my lineups, and that's why. What
was sad, Chris? I didn't play the Adam White in lineup. I really should have. I don't think it won 2 nights ago, but I can't believe I missed that opportunity. Let's talk about Kevin Na and why I hate him. Let's talk about that.
If Kevin Na produced all the time, I would be his number one fan. There would be other people out there. So, but let's take a look at both of these teams. Okay, so we've kind of established that Adam is almost a must play from KC. I think the other side of this is that we've learned Sakin is kind of the interesting play in terms of very similar stats to Xmatty, but seems to be the person that is carrying the team. So those are the two people that have been the primary carries. Sakin and Adam. I think we can still continue playing Adam, but if you want to get a little different and you think that the exposure to this team as a whole is going to be high from the field, Xmatty might be the way to do that in a smaller field. Just as people are looking at these box scores, he didn't really produce in that second game the same way that Sakin has, and that might be something that we can take advantage of. On the other side of things, if we're looking at SO4 and we are going to go ahead and play them, Nuclear Int is probably the way to go. We talked about it on day 2 after his performance in day 1, that this was a guy that you probably wanted to put in your lineup as a captain, especially as a dog. This is that same situation.
Price is so cheap.
Price is cheap, and when you look at actual performance in this tournament so far, in terms of kill leaders, we are looking at a bunch of ADCs. No surprise there, but Nuclear Int is up there in terms of kill average, and he's pretty close. I mean, the one that I'd rule out is SLT, just off of that one big game. But we've got Rafita from UCAM, Lucker, Namex, SLT, Adam, Reeker, and Nuclear Int. So you've got those two heavy carry tops. You've got two middle guys that you want to play, and Nuclear Int and Reeker. So that's an interesting way to build a team. You could start with Nuclear Int, you could go with Adam, then you're going to put Reeker in, and that's if you're building, a KC big, or not KC, a SO4 big lineup. But I digress. Yeah. So I don't have too many thoughts on that one. This next game is the one that I really wanted to kind of spend some time on and think about here. And I'm surprised by the betting odds. I'm surprised just by everything here. I'm not big on either of these teams. We've got BTXL, who's just looked meh, not as bad as G2, not as bad as Kick, but certainly not very good. And they are an overwhelming favorite against BTS, who did have a game where they came through. They won. They looked pretty good on day 2, but they were playing SO4, and we felt like that was a game that they could win. We felt like that was a game that they weren't necessarily a dog. It was almost even money. It wasn't, but it was close. But we're looking at betting odds right now. They're plus 165, probably going to hammer that. I've got a lot of money on Ben Askren right now, so my betting account's a little drained. I got him at plus 155. I thought that was crazy. But XL here is a favorite and priced up. I was talking to Iron Berserker earlier, and we were talking about who we thought might be the lowest owned team on the slate, similar to G2 the other day. I think he brought up that he was thinking maybe SO4, and that certainly makes some sense because they're playing KC, one of the better teams, undefeated. Why are you going to want to play against them? But at the same time, I think BTXL is a little bit, in a better position to be a lower owned team, just based off of bad results and a high price. Like if you're playing BTXL, you're basically forced to almost put these guys in with a dog. So you're taking a team that you can't feel good about, and you're taking it with another team that you probably shouldn't feel good about either. So it's an interesting position. It's a great place to get leverage. It's the same place.
That's where you get money when those things hit, though.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. That's why I played G2. I knew that G2 wasn't likely to win, but if they did at 5% ownership and it was a fiesta, I was going to jettison to the top of the lineups. And so I'm going to play some BTXL tomorrow. I'm not going to go crazy with it. I'm usually building for these right now, 20 to 25 lineups and just putting my favorite ones in the higher dollar. And that's what saved me today. I didn't play as heavy as I have the other days. I did not do well in the bigger GPP, but tomorrow if BTXL does well, then I'm thinking I'm going to do swell if they do well. We're talking BTXL. I mean, this is that 18%. Look, here's what it comes down to. We've spent 3 days doing this, Danger. I haven't talked to you. I mean, I've talked to you a lot, but I haven't talked to you like this
4 days now
since like football season. For the most part, we've done like 1 or 2 shows.
That's right.
And the first day was really fun. It was like we got back into it. We had a good time. I got drunk. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Next 2 days, I stayed sober. And your
never
jokes,
a good idea.
Your jokes were terrible.
I
don't think that they've ever been any better than that. Maybe I just didn't have a sense of humor.
But
that's really what it was.
Here's the thing, though. This is our 4th day, and I was funny on 1 day, and so 1 out of 4 is really tight odds for me.
But was it? Maybe you weren't funny any of the days, and I just had to get drunk, and maybe I was not entertaining myself. I don't know. So that's kind of what I decided to do. I told everybody at the beginning here, I don't want to, go through a huge drinking session. So I grabbed 18.4%.
Nice.
I forgot to throw in like a Bourbon County into the freezer to just get it to that 50 degrees. And I'll get there quick, get there fast, quick and fast.
I dig it.
That's what my wife says.
Matt says Matt says BTXL feels like G2 today, and that was a bad decision.
It's not a bad decision. It's just going to end up bad. It's a good decision. It's just likely you're going to have a bad result with it.
Hey, look, trust the process.
Matt, look, if you're playing 2 to 5 lineups, it's probably not a spot that I'm going to go. But if you're playing like 20 lineups, then yeah, you're going to have some exposure. And, if you want to get on that BTXL train, maybe throw them in, maybe you go 20 lineups in the dime time. Maybe you go in the quarter jukebox. You got to play against Johnny Danger.
I don't recommend that.
Maybe you just go all in the quarter jukebox and you just go all BTXL,
yeah.
How sharp is that?
I'm in. I can do it. All right, moving on.
But yeah, no, I like BTS. I think that they're going to be pretty highly owned. I think the thing about these two teams is they're not exceedingly crazy in the kills per minute. BTS is one of the lower teams. They're right there with Illuminar, SO4, Mako, and UCAM. So
I'm just not into any of these guys' names, so I just can't get behind either team.
Well, remember, is Mini Duque, the dude with the Brandon Inge tattoos on his. It's not a Brandon Inge, but he has his name on his forearm.
I mean, I guess I could pair him up with LeBron.
I mean, I shouldn't say anything. I've got my name on my forearm too. It's just
my God,
binary code.
I don't even want to talk about my tattoos, bro. Let's just move on.
Yeah, I've got my initials over here just in case I forget what they are.
Dude, I have the gecko lizard on my back shoulder blade, and it says Jedi Master around it. Come on now.
Sick. That's okay.
And it's not even in English, man. It's in the Star Wars language. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's move on. So Mouse, Mouse and UCAM, the kind of the. So I don't know where I stand on this. I mean, UCAM is coming off of 2 wins, pretty dominant wins at that. Just absolutely wiped the floor with Mako, 15-2. If you look at the player stats leaderboards, they're all over it for KDA. I mean, look, you die 2 times, you have 2 wins. You're going to have better KDA than a lot of teams. If you're playing UCAM, look, here's what it comes down to. I think that they're going to be popular. They're lower priced. They're a dog. Mouse has not looked good. If you look at Mouse and you're like, man, Mouse does not look good, I think I should play UCAM. Guess what? You're not the only person that's thinking that. That's the kind of what you need to fight is you need to fight that inclination. That if I think this team's look bad and I think this other team is better, why do you think that? Because you've watched the game. We've all watched the games. So when you see that, like that's where you kind of want to go the other way or just avoid the game because it's a 6-game slate. And that might be the way that I'm going to go. Both of these teams play pretty slow. I do like a bounce back spot for Mouse. But, if I had to predict it, I'm probably going to back UCAM here. We've seen a lot of upsets. That first day was really chalky. Hasn't been that way since. I don't expect day 4 to be like day 1 and be chalky. UCAM's plus 140. I think that's a good spot to place a bet on them if you want to go ahead and take that kind of wager. If you are going to play UCAM, though, let's play, devil's advocate here because this is what we should do. You should, if you're going to play UCAM and have them, I mean, just 4-stack this team. Absolutely, they're the dog in this situation. They're going to fight. Mouse should fight. If that's kind of the game state that you're looking at, Bacca, Plasma, Hades, Rafita, all one of those. I'd leave Dreedy out of it.
I mean, the prices are great. So, I mean, it's not going to be hard to put them in there and stack them up with a higher percentage win team.
Well, what you're going to see, you're going to see teams like BTS and UCAM stacked a lot of times with teams like Big and KC.
Sure.
I think those are going to be the most popular builds that we're going to see. Big and KC feel the best. Big, absolutely, and we'll get to that, in a couple games here. But, I think the bet on UCAM is fine. I'm actually thinking that Mouse is going to win here, but it's not something that I really want to. I don't really want to back Mouse per se. So, but BTXL, if I'm playing BTXL, maybe I play BTXL with UCAM. That seems kind of interesting to me.
Yeah, I like it.
Right.
All right, moving on.
So we are now moving into Illuminar Gaming. and they are playing Mako. Look, I'm just not going to spend a lot of time on this. You moved to a new place. I haven't been looking at the screen.
Yeah, man. I mean, I was there
You got out of the
yesterday.
ship?
I was there yesterday. You know, we got to our destination. We're on Tatooine now, walking up on Jabba's palace. Got my boys R2 and C3PO with me. Which way I got to lean? That way. Yep, look at them. Yep.
I see, man.
We're ready to go.
Illuminar. Look, short stack. Here's the problem with Illuminar, though, for me. They don't get the first blood. They don't seem to prioritize dragons. They have a terrible early game by design. They want to scale. Mako is going to, take advantage of that, but I don't think they're good enough to beat them. I think this is a game where we see Illuminar win, but maybe they don't score well. And when we're looking at teams that don't necessarily score well and we want to put them into a stack, we usually want to put them in a small stack. We want to put them in a small stack. We want to put them with a team slot. The problem is that Illuminar's team slot is just not necessarily a great scoring team slot. Let's take a look at how they scored today. I mean, yeah, look, they won. They beat Mao's 17 points in the team slot. Somehow they did get the first blood. Okay. With 7 turrets, 3 dragons, no barons, not an under 30 team. So I don't think the upside's there. If you're going to small stack them, like I guess that you can, like in some degree, and maybe one off the team. So you're going to go like 4-2-1. But the guys are kind of priced up. So I don't know. This is just not a spot that I'm going to go.
It feels like, when you're looking at like NBA games where it's like a favorite, but they only score like 85 points. It's like, it just feels like they could win with 12 kills.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a pretty good. I mean, it's like when 2 bad football teams play each other. Like, you want to say, like, I think this team's a little bit better, but their just offense is inept, and I don't think they're going to score. Yeah, the other team's defense is bad, but
yeah, it's like watching the Lions. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, I mean, or the 49ers.
No, man, championship run this year, bro. Come on.
I don't know. I mean, I was listening a little bit to Chappie and Randall Cunningham, and I don't know. He seems pretty tied into the Tuscaloosa, the folks. He knows people there, saying Mac Jones, and I don't know. I don't think that's a good play. I don't think Justin Fields is. I don't think a lot of the
I don't think any of them is. I was pissed off that they even traded that. To go up, they should have traded down. Jimmy, there's never going to be a more motivated year for Jimmy Garoppolo than right now. So you just give him one more year if you can't. I mean, I was all in favor of selling the farm to, try to get Aaron Rodgers or whatever they thought they were going to do. Well, Watson before he may never play another game. But man, I think you just stick with Jimmy at this point. Maybe take that 3rd pick and trade down now.
The irony is we've talked a lot about how I joined the show or joined the organization now at this point, or whatever the case, whatever we're going to call
whatever
it.
The hell we are.
The first time that we really talked, though, via text message, Facebook Messenger, was that opening game. I played so much Jimmy Garoppolo, and then he just went and blew out his ACL. Maybe it was week 2. I think it was week 2 with the Lions, right?
Yeah, it wasn't good.
Oh, yeah. No, it wasn't. It really wasn't.
Wasn't good, bro. Wasn't good. Anyways, we digress.
Yeah. So
let us move on.
I'm just not really super interested in this game.
Let's just go to the next one then.
Well, no.
Let's move on. Come on.
We're doing.
Move on.
If you're going to play somebody.
But Pookie's on the next one.
Maybe. Well, look, yeah, but you don't want to talk about Papa Tabachi?
That is a great name. It's a great name.
So I guess if you're going to play it, maybe you can one-off Papa Tabachi.
I
mean, I wouldn't. I mean, went 2-1-9 today. I mean, they did score.
I mean, my big one-off yesterday was my winning factor.
Yeah, I mean, they had 15 kills, and that's just not great, but the kill participation was kind of there from the team. 15 kills, you got the ADC, OD, all 15 of them. Sipsy, 14, 12, 11, 9. I mean, I guess that's your thought, is that even though this team doesn't have as many kills, if you are going to play them, I guess you can feel kind of safe in the fact that they have a decent kill participation. And that was evident throughout the split as well. They were all about six. This is interesting. 65.3, 69.7, 69.1, 69.1, 68.9. So they are playing true to form in their split. So, I'm going to go back on that. I think you can play some Illuminar, but, if you're going to rule out a game, maybe this is the game you rule out.
Now we can move on.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Thank you. Moving on.
All right, cool.
Cool.
So biggest disappointment in the tournament so far is going to be K1, also known as Kick Neos. I told you guys if they won that I'd buy somebody a jersey, and I feel super good about having not to do that at this point because it is not going to happen.
It's not working.
They've looked really bad, and this is one of those things where we've got a limited amount of information. We've talked about this, trying to piece together not just the split information, but the playoff information, how they got here, and what we've seen so far. And what we've seen is that Kick has not lived up to those expectations. They were a 7-7 team in the split. They had a couple of best of fives, and when I was talking about it earlier with Matt, actually, I think the difference is that Kick is a better team when we're talking about best of fives. They have that pedigree, that experience in playing series where some of these teams don't, but anything can happen in best of ones, and some of these teams don't look necessarily as good in best of ones as they do in series. And I think that is just absolutely right now evident with Kick. Maybe the stage is too big. Pookie's been unable to kind of carry this team. They did score. They started off real well today. I mean, there was a point where I thought they were going to beat Big. They still got 15 kills in a loss. Pookie went 2-4-7. They're just playing a Tristana. Tristana is undefeated so far in the tournament. Kadu, Reeker, all these guys, they just kind of took over, despite having, arguably a weaker comp. But you were playing against Tristana, who's undefeated. You've got a Braun who hasn't won a game. And, you just ended up losing to, without a doubt, a better team. This is not necessarily a better team. I think this is going to be a game where you want to get both sides of this. Historically, Kick is not necessarily a team that we want to attack other teams, but they've shown this tendency. I'm looking for another word. I can't find it. I don't know. My vocabulary is not there. Anti-reluctancy is kind of where I'm looking for. So I can come up with reluctant, but that's not what I want. I want anti-reluctancy. It's the opposite.
I would just say it's an interesting matchup.
Look, they've been aggressive. Okay, they wanted to fight, and that is something that we want to see. So this game is one where I'm kind of interested in it. Kick's kill per minute is top in the league, or in this tournament. MKers, they're in the middle. I think this is an interesting game because of all the things that we've talked about and how they're kind of on equal footing. So I'm going to have both sides of this. And when we're looking from a betting favorite, they don't even have odds on this. But as far as DraftKings is concerned, I think they have MKS as the favorite, but not by a ton. So this is a pretty even game. It's priced. I like playing both sides of this.
Can you play it as a game stack?
Yeah, I mean, you could.
That might be fun. I'm going to play around in the quarter jukebox now that I got a lot of quarters. I got a lot of quarters now.
If you're going to game stack, this is probably the one to game stack. I mean, we'll rank the game stacks after we go through, GPP plays, upsets, and cash game viable teams. Well, that'll be the last thing. It'll be the last little wrinkle that we throw.
All right, let's talk about Big.
Smash spot for Big.
Dude, SLT lit my lineup on fire last night. It was perfect. Or earlier today, I should say. I keep saying last night, but it's earlier today.
Yeah, for me,
he was my one-off, and he smashed for me, man. It was great.
Yeah, this is another spot. I mean, I don't think you overthink this. Sure, if you're making 20 lineups, maybe you throw one in, but ANO is who we thought they were, a lower team region. They're not super good. I'm just more interested to see what kind of bans we see. When they were able to get ahead of that first game, it was partially because Wulu was able to play his Fiora, which is one of the most banned champions in Greece, against ANO, just because that's his pocket pick. But they drafted really, really weird. And while there was a lot of discussions about composition not necessarily mattering as much as people, put on it, the weight, it's important. It makes a difference. It does. But as you get lower in the leagues, which this is an academy level kind of tournament, it doesn't matter as much as it does in the highest levels of the pro game. But still, Dominant is known for his Garen Jungle, and they were absolutely saying, hey, go ahead and play this. We're not going to let you play Fiora, but we'll let you do this. And he went into a Graves against just a composition with Karma, Syndra. This wasn't a spot that I thought Graves was a good spot, but they banned everything else. They had three targeted jungle bans: Xin, Hecarim, Volibear. There were other things that he could have picked, though. But he went with Graves, and that did not work out. It was terrible, awful,
poor choice.
Yeah, so I think they're going to get rolled. Big's a smash spot here. Both of these two teams are pretty high in terms of the kills per minute. Big is the number 2 team in the tournament so far, and Famagusta is number 3. So do I think this is a spot where you could game stack? Those numbers would probably tell you that you could, but we don't necessarily want to game stack a game when we think the better team's going to roll, which I think that they will. This is probably a 15 to 19 kill win for Big. And
I see they finally have bumped that price for Reeker up where it should be.
Yeah, this is just not – it's not a spot where I want to get much ANO. Again, playing 20, 30 lineups, go ahead, throw one in there. But I just don't think they're going to be competitive. I think Big's that good. I think there are 3 clear-cut teams that are in contention for this. It's going to be Misfits, Carmine, and Big. Those are the 3 teams that have impressed me.
All right, buddy. Well, this is a $1 single entry, 59 entries tournament that I have loaded up here. So let's make the winner.
Okay.
Let's make the winner.
So from just a GPP perspective, I think Big's going to be super popular, but I like them. So let's go get a little weird. Let's get a little Reeker action. We want to play some SLT, right?
Oh, of course. It's my boy. All right, what's the other team we're going to pair?
I think we're going to go SO4, man.
First and lasties. I like that. I like it.
Thinking about this. I'm thinking, is that where I want to go? But yeah, let's do it. So let's go get a little obsess.
Pop. Poop.
So this is the big stack. So Danger, when we're building a big stack, we want to have whoever our captain is, we want to have 4 of those guys, obviously, and we typically don't want it to be a team if we can help it. So it's pretty clear. We're going to go Big. We're going to go Ciaz, and boom, there it is, man.
Dude, their team slot is cheap. Good gracious.
The nice thing about this, Danger, is it's the second game, even though DraftKings says it's the first. The beauty of this is that you'll know very, very quickly whether or not you wasted that $1.
I like it. Well, I am in, so let's go back and reset.
All right.
Now what are we going to talk
about? So cash games. I'm thinking the 3 teams that I'm most interested in cash games are going to be Big, Illuminar Gaming, and Carmine. When it comes to just cash games overall, we don't need to have the same high scoring. We just need the safeness. Something is going to win. Big as well. Big.
Oh, I'm sorry. I missed you say Big. I'm sorry. Mark Larson was texting me, and it's very important.
Yeah, look, the reality is that we're not going to be able to put some carries here, so we're going to want to try and see what we can put in. Let's go Adam. Let's go put Adam in the captain slot.
Yeah, I'm digging that.
Let's go with Melnick.
Oh, I don't know. I don't like that, man. It's way too close to Melnick.
What about?
Oof.
Let's skip this position for now. Let's continue on. Man, this is close too. Let's go with like Sakin here. We definitely want Sakin, right?
Well, I think so. Yeah.
Let's go with Odie. Let's go with the cheap one, Sipsy. I don't know how to say that name, man.
Sipsy sounds great. Yeah, sounds awesome. I like that. I like Sipsy.
Let's go with Illuminar Gaming there as well.
Can't do it.
Yeah, we can't do it, huh? So we're gonna have to go with a support. Let's go back up.
What are we doing? Clearing?
Yeah, clear. Let's go back, look at the teams. Let's think about this for a second. So we're not gonna. No. I meant like go up and look at the teams.
Yeah, I got you. I figured it out after I clicked. I'm learning.
Okay, so I don't necessarily think we need to build a lineup here. Let's talk about a strategy here, though. So,
all right,
go back up, though. Go back up. I want to see the teams. I don't need to see the players. So here we go. So here's a thought. So let's say we want to build. We obviously can't do these teams that we view as safe. We can't build them together. Maybe we can do it like a support captain. But let's say you're like me and you really don't like doing that. It makes you feel icky inside. So here's a strategy. What I do is. I guess we got some comments here. We could look at that. Let's go with like a team like BTS first. We go with BTS, and just let's try and pair them with Big, just as an example. Big. Go with like a Reeker. See if we can even big stack Big. Go SLT.
Yup.
LeBron.
Yup.
Vinny Duke, Kidu.
Yup.
Grab that white in. Just as a thought. So, look, you could do something like this. It's not necessarily the way that you want to build a cash game lineup all the time. But here's the thought that I have. When I have to build these type of lineups and I put a bunch of money into cash, I've got $3, $4, $5, $100. And let's say, you're playing $20, $30, whatever. Well, it doesn't matter. But what you're going to do is you're going to go then take a lineup and you're going to hedge this. This is your cash lineup. This is what you want to, do well. But then you're going to play something like BTXL with Big, or BTXL with a team that you can fit, because you could probably not fit BTXL with Big. And what you're going to do is you're going to put that in like a single entry. So, if we're talking smaller stakes, maybe like a $12 single entry or something along those lines, something that's not got a lot of people in it, that if your stack hits, and one of those lower owned ones, that we're talking 5% owned in a 30-person contest is, super small. So you're probably one of the only people to have it, and you're basically hedging that way. That if your cash lineup goes off, you're in a great spot. If they don't, you've kind of minimized your losses. And so the way that I do this a lot of times, again, I'm talking $400 or $500 in cash lineup. I might do something like to hedge my cash lineup with a team that I don't feel confident in, like a BTS, which I do think will win, but I think BTXL is very live here. I might put BTXL as the centerpiece of an $85 winner take all. It's a 4-man contest. The winner takes $300. So at the end of the day, if BTXL does pull off that upset, I've got a couple lineups with them in my $15, 20 entries for the big GPP, but I'm not guaranteed in a 1,500, 2,000, 3,000 person tournament that I'm going to win that tournament, or that I'm either going to cash well enough that it's going to offset any of the losses that I have. I mean, look, you've got to finish in the top 5 to get any type of real money that's going to offset a $500 cash game investment, right? So, but when we're talking about a winner take all $85, that's 4 people that I have to play against. Mm-hmm. I know nobody else is going to have BTXL. If they end up winning, I don't have to do a whole lot, especially if I think BTS is going to be a cash game viable team. They're going to be highly owned. And if they're going to be highly owned, I'm guessing 2, maybe 3 of those contestants in that winner take all. And you could do it in a $25 or a 3-ban or something like that. I'm immediately going to win. I ought to win. And that's what happened on day one when I was playing a lot of SO4. It wasn't as a hedge or anything like that, but I was just auto winning some of these winner take alls because of SO4 winning and BTXL being that highly owned. That's a way to hedge that. And then, you have whatever profit you make from your other lineups. Again, hopefully that BTXL lineup wins you first place in other tournaments. But at the very least, if you have, 80% of your losses covered in a winner take all or something like that, or some small tournament.
Great strategy. Well. And just to point something out here, the latest comment talking about choosing the right mid here is my friend Ken, and it's ironic that he's watching right now because he is the creator of Better on Draft podcast. It's the shirt I happen to be wearing right now, which is pretty funny. So if you like talk about beer, they got about 7,000 plus, almost 8,000 followers, and go find Better on Draft podcast. Good friends, good people talking about beer. What's wrong with that? I've been on their show a few times. Good friends.
So yeah, look, if you wanted to play, if you want to play him in mid, he's on Illuminar Gaming. So go ahead, clear everything out. Clear your teams. Clear your teams. Who are we gonna put it with? I mean, who are you feeling? We could put him with BTS, but then we got to play Mini Duque, man. And I just don't know how I feel about that. Let's do this.
What about you?
Go to SO4. Let's get a little crazy. Man. All right, let's play Nuclear in the mid spot. Let's play his boy over there. Yep, he's right there up at the top. Right up the top.
Yep.
All right, so let's go with Yopa.
Yopa. I like that thing.
He's going against Adam, though. Like, do you think he's going to be able to handle Adam? Adam's presumably Renekton.
I mean, Yopa is one of the characters from Itchy Scritchy Scratchy Pants, which is one of my favorite kids' books. So I feel like he's got it under control.
Okay. Well, then I think I know who you're going to play here, right?
Yep.
Papa Tabachi, right?
Yep.
Sick, man. Sick. Okay, so who are we going next? Where are we going? I think you built it. That's $1 right there.
Yeah. I can't in this one. I'm already in this one, but I'm going to remember that.
Was it a single entry?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll come back. Dig it. Dude, SO4s, they're so cheap. You could build anything you want with them.
Yeah, look, they're so cheap because they're playing one of the favorites in the tournament. But like as we've said many, many, many times, they can beat anybody. They've beat the best of the best everywhere that they've been. They've lost to all of the best too. So it's like you just don't know who's going to show up. So they're capable, and that's the most important thing is that they are capable. Because when we're putting it in a GPP, we're not necessarily expecting a 80% result. We're expecting a 1% result, and because we want to be in the top 1%. It's just the way that it is.
It's a dream of mine to be in the top 1%.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get there. ilogicmedia.com. I'll be the next multimedia millionaire.
So we talked about cash game strategy and how to hedge that. So, whatever your cash game is, you can play some other guys from other teams. Let's talk a little bit about like kind of the upsets that I think that can happen and places that we want to attack in GPP. We've discussed SO4 at length, and we've built a couple lineups. So we obviously think that they're a real upset threat. BTS should probably be the favorite in this match. They come from a better region. I don't care that they're the number 2 seed and BTXL is number 1. The biggest area of concern that I have is that when we go into the team stats, that BTS was negative 720 at 15 minutes. Throughout this tournament so far, their goal differential is negative 1,000, but, BTXL is negative 3,400. So is it really that different? Yeah, no, look, hey, we got a comment here. Adam is over Yopa every day. Yeah, 100%. Every day, except for like that one day. And that's kind of what we're looking at there. When we're looking at that GPP lineup, I like Adam. I think Adam should be a captain.
Hell yeah.
In some
we
of your
love Adam.
lineup.
He was our first captain build of the show.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Adam's the most aggressive, highest scoring top in this tournament. Historically, I don't know necessarily if he's there, but from the standpoint, if we're trying to put together a team that we think can win in a GPP, we're going to have to take some underdogs. And SO4, as we've discussed at length, is a team that can win. BTXL, both of these teams, just they don't excite me. BTS is an underdog, but I think they're going to be a popular underdog. That's the difference. When I'm playing an underdog, I don't want the most popular underdog in the world because that just defeats the purpose. I'm playing a team that has bad odds of winning, and I'm playing them with a bunch of other people. That's why SO4 is interesting to me. Now, UCAM, I don't know. I don't know how people are going to look at this. I've talked to a couple people, and you guys in the chat can tell me what you're thinking on this UCAM Mouse game, where you want to go. I know where Matt Iron Berserker wants to go. I know what he feels. But this is the one that's kind of interesting to me in the sense that I'd love to go with UCAM if I felt like people weren't going to play UCAM, but I think they will. I think we're going to look at Mouse's recency bias, and I think a lot of people are going to play that UCAM lineup because they're 2-0. Mouse should be 0-2 for all intents and purposes, but I think Mouse is still a better team. So they're an interesting favorite because I think they'll go under-owned, just like BTXL. Anyway, moving on, in terms of an underdog here, I don't think Mako is a logistically a team that I want to play. That's MCK. They're probably going to win because I've just been shitting on them all show.
That's how it goes.
Yeah, like this is the one team you don't want to play, and then they're gonna steal an Elder or something like that, and hopefully they only get 6 skills and be like, look, they won, but what you wouldn't have won if you played them. K1 MKS. I don't think that this is a game where you're going to have an underdog. I think that, going back to recency bias, I want to be all over K1 here. I don't care when these teams lose 2 games. Obviously, I played a bunch of G2 today, and I told you to play G2. And I hung my head in shame, like, man, I'm sorry, guys. But you know what? If G2 had won, we'd all be given high fives. It would have been a great time. We would have got, milkshakes on me. Not milkshake IPAs; those are gross.
Very few and far between are any good at all.
I was in Kentucky not too long ago, and they still have big boys there, like all over the place.
Yeah.
And who has the best milkshakes? That's weird. It's definitely Big Boy.
All right, those are my picks to win right there. What do you think?
I like it. I mean, well, I no, like the first one, you got to switch it. It's wrong.
No. They're going to win. Upset.
You know what? That's an interesting parlay. Let's take a look at the odds on your parlay there. I mean, Obviously the kick odds aren't out, so we can't bet that. But we're going to take XL. We're going to take SO4. You're taking UCAM. You're taking Illuminar, and then you've got Big, and that bet slip. Got to take that one out. Plus 1762. So if you would have bet $1, you win 17. It's not so good.
Yeah, 1762. I'd bet $1 would win 170.
No.
Yeah.
No. You're
no.
Wrong.
I don't bet. Leave me alone. All right.
Okay.
Anyways,
so
I'm gonna win. I'm gonna screenshot. Hey, hold on. I'm gonna screenshot this. How do I do that again? Hey, screenshot things. I don't know how to screenshot things. Never mind.
Pick up your phone and take a picture of your screen.
Oh, I got that. I can do that. That's a good move. Here we go.
I mean, you could snip it too.
There we go. Click.
Man, it's getting hot in here.
All right.
18% alcohol does that to you.
That's true. All right, kid, I gotta get out of here. What else you got?
I think that's it, man. What was that last thing that we were going to talk about? Oh, game stacks. Thing. Game stacks in order. Plausibility. We got K1 MKS number 1, SO4 KC number 2, ANO Big number 3, and then UCAM Mouse. I mean, those are the games in terms of order. And maybe that last one can be switched.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. I'm going to build some lineups, buddy.
All right, cool. Well, hey, it was good seeing you. I didn't expect you to be here, but we can roll with this. I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. Watch this Golden Gardens Academy play 100T. I put a pretty large bet on them, with some plus odds, and it's going really well right now. They're up 9 kills to 1, a little bit 4K gold lead in that first game. So
I like it, man. So when are we meeting again?
We can. I don't know if we're going to do a live, but we can definitely do some videos for next week. So,
all right.
Because I know that you're actually, I believe you're on Whiskey and History on Monday at 8:30.
Hell yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. Talking Tricky Dick.
So we don't have another slate till Tuesday, so that would normally put us on at 8:30 on Monday. Mm-hmm. Obviously not going to work. So
Maybe we could go on after History and Whiskey.
Yeah, but you guys talk for a long time. That could be a couple hours. So maybe we go live on Sunday.
It's going to be a long one. Yeah.
So maybe Sunday, maybe not. Look, if you're watching this, whether it's live, whether it's not, like, subscribe, check it. We definitely on the Facebook page, on the YouTube, we do put when things are going to happen, so you can follow along. If you want to hit the bell, you can hit the bell. That's cool too. But here's the bottom line: is that we might make a decision today. It might be tomorrow. It might be the next day. If you just periodically check it, you'll be able to follow along.
Hey, Chris, it's been 3 days at EU Masters. It's been 3 green screens, my friend.
Yeah, it's been exciting. It wasn't as
even Johnny Danger won for 2 days.
But I don't know. I don't think you can really tell the way that everything kind of looks in here. This is green. I've got green on it.
It's green.
This is green today.
I see it.
We've done blue. We've done white. But today is green, and that's because we're expecting green.
Yeah, look at this. Green everywhere.
Oh, man. I thought, what?
Yeah.
What, you're not really on a fictional planet in a different... Wow.
I wasn't, but I am making green screens.
Oh.
I love it. All right, we are Draft for Upside. Thanks for kicking it off without me today, buddy. It just worked out. I happened to, I wanted to brag about my $24. It was very important to me.
I was super proud of you.
I know you did that for me. Actually, that's not one we built on the show. I woke up this morning. I was like, you know what? I got to play VZZ. I got to get it done.
Well, I mean, that's because we hyped it up, though.
I did. It's true. It's a true story. All right, buddy. We'll catch you next time. All right.
All right. Talk to you later.